rules. Hey, you know what? This guy has been called crazy. Did y'all know that the president called and the left wingers up there called Ted Cruz crazy because he's calling for transparency in the government? My gosh, he's crazy. Fighting to rein in an uncontrolled spending for a nation that is $17 trillion in debt. That don't sound crazy. He wants to restore physical sanity. And that's what we've got to do. He wants to defend the Constitution and putting principle before politics. Now, when's the last time you've seen a politician do that, or is any of them still here that stands for you? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate being invited up here to Hood County Pig Party. I've been here before, but not to a picnic. Thanks for coming, each and every one of you. There's a bunch of you out there that I've met, that I know, and I've met you from the past, and I hope that you have the conservatives behind you. Hey, but you know, it may not be. Some of you might be a little Democrat. Some of you might be a little moderate. But for today, and for this afternoon, I have just one word from each and every one of you, and that's welcome. Welcome, and thanks for coming. Hopefully, in these upcoming elections, you will lean towards supporting the Republican Party. Maybe someday it may become the conservative Republican Party that will support and listen to conservatives and support the Tea Party ideology. Some of you may not know which way that you're going to lean this next time in the next election cycle. Some of you don't know yet, because if you're like me that's been spouting stuff for the Republican Party for 23 years, you're just about tired of it. You send them up there to do things, and all of a sudden they don't have any guts. They vote for stuff that's crazy. They vote for stuff that they ought not be. None of them have the guts to put up an impeachment for Obama. None of them have the guts to stick up a bill to stop funding. You know, if I remember correctly, the House of Representatives, that's what money for. Why don't they just unfund some of this mess? I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking time out of your day to come and attend this picnic. Also, the President and the Vice President, they're in here. Let's get them stand up. Stand up, Ring. We're gone. Give us a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. They do this for free. I've traveled every county in old CD 11, CD 17, Senate District 22, Senate District 5, Congressional District 31, and all 18 counties of 10 courts of appeals. I did it for free. I'm not bragging, but I did it for free because I thought it needed to be done for our country. That's what they're doing. And each and every one of you that's volunteering, you're doing it for free, and you're doing it for your country. Thank you. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Jimmie Kerr. I'm the past committee man to the State Republican Exec Committee representing the 10 counties of Senate District 22. And yeah, I'm a Republican. I've been trying to grow out of it, but I'm still a Republican. Hopefully, though, I'm a conservative Republican. And I hope together with you here, all Tea Parties across Texas and all Tea Parties around our great nation, that we can change the Republican Party to the conservative Republican Party. A party that all like-minded people will want to be part of. I want to give a special thanks to Colonel Greg Jones sitting up here. He rides with me to most of these things. Sometimes he says, "Man, you embarrass me. I ain't gonna do it." He was bringing a good friend of his, Dory O'Brien. Some of you know about her. She is Muslim hater #1. But she's got to go to Washington, D.C. here in a couple of days, so she couldn't make it. I'm glad to be here speaking to you tonight on several matters that are due to my heart, are dear to my heart, and probably very close to yours. Ladies and gentlemen, you already know this, but the first three words of the Constitution is we the people. We the people. Says so right there. It does not say, you people, those people, your people, my people. It says we the people. What that should mean to our elected officials is to pass laws that is good for all people. Not just a selected few, not pass laws because of someone's color of skin or their gender. That's crazy. It's degrading to that individual or those people, and it gets away from we the people. Now, I've covered a lot of this before, but we're going to go back and do it again. I'm sure most of you remember the debates of our Republican president back in the last election. You remember the debates between our Republicans. And I'm saying the same old thing. Did you get excited about any of those debates? Did you get excited? Are you undecided? Or maybe you're still wondering what happened in that election. What happened? What happened is millions of conservatives stayed home. They did not go vote. They didn't feel that they had a conservative candidate. We did not win because we did not have a conservative candidate. The candidates for president are usually chosen before the vote ever gets to us here in Texas. The swing states, all them eastern states over there have their primaries early, and it's already pretty well out of our hands. But there's a couple of ways that we can cure that. And I wish some of them elected guys were still here. One of the ways is for all states to hold their primary on the same day. That way, our vote and everybody's vote towards electing a Republican candidate for president, Senate, Congress, we can all get in on who's going to be our candidate. I know. It ain't. I know. The Republicans are not going to go for it, and the swing states would change, and they're not going to participate. Now, here is the way that we can change things. Here is the way that we can produce a conservative candidate. And that is when we have meetings like today, and you get your people here, especially when they're running in a primary. You vet those candidates. Vet them. That means ask questions. Hard questions, like some of the folks ask some of these guys. Ask them hard questions to defend their vote. And if it's a newbie that's running, ask him what he thinks about it and how he would vote on a particular issue. After the questions are asked, and after you get your answers, let the decision and your thought process on deciding which candidate you will support, ask yourself, did they appear? Did they have honesty? Did they have integrity in what they were saying? Did they show some energy, some courage, conviction? Did they have some united effect about it? Do they have these qualities or any of these qualities? Another one, did they answer your question directly? Did they give you a straightforward answer? Or did they give you the runaround? The old runaround. Chet Edwards back in OCD 11, CD 17, y'all remember him? You say, Chet, hey, is the sky blue? Excuse me. Well, now, while that is a good question, the question should be, blah, 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 and he'd go off on about that answer. I spoke against him a million times. He never answered the question yes or no. These people, these candidates that are coming, and you vet them, and you think about it. Will you also think about, will they run their campaigns professionally? Will they bring these qualities I'm talking about to the conservatives, to the Tea Parties, and to the Republican Party? will they serve as they said after they're elected? That's the big one. Now let's get back to talking about these debates on the president. Listen to what I have to say. Let's see if you, being conservative, like-minded people, with your vision, your thoughts, and your ideas, if you would like to hear our presidential candidates talk about hard issues, our presidential candidates talk about hard issues, talk about it bold, loud, where everybody can hear.
Not good.
None of that. Bold and loud. And talk about this. But, you know, first of all, let's talk about some of the Bill of Rights. We'll get back to the president here in just a minute. The preamble. And the Bill of Rights, the preamble, limiting the federal government. That means, as it says, an expressed desire to prevent abuse of federal power. My God, ladies and gentlemen, the federal government is abusing us every day. Taxing, spending, imposing bad regulations. We've heard it here lately. IRS, Obamacare, bad immigration bill with little or no border security. No matter how they're painting it, they still haven't come out. Number 1, 2, 3, be border security. A bad farm bill that has 80% food stamps. Mr. Conaway's a fine man. He's wrong. 80% of that bill should not be food stamps. It's a farm bill. If you want to pass a food stamp bill, call it a food stamp bill. But not hang our guys out here that's farming every day, depending on the ground, depending on the rain, fighting bugs and fighting prices. They shouldn't have to be making enough money to fund the food stamps. It's bad legislation. It should be voted no. That, friends, is abuse. That is federal abuse. Under Article 1 of our Bill of Rights, they're trying to take away our religious freedom. They don't want us to display the American flag in our schools. They don't want us to say the Pledge of Allegiance in our schools. They don't want us trained at sporting events because it might offend them. Might offend them. Well, I say, get offended, then get over it. Be proud to be an American. Pray and honor the American flag anywhere and any time that you want. Excuse me, when I know they They also don't want us displaying religious sculptures anywhere on government or private property. That's crazy. That's crazy. America was built on religious beliefs. We need to display them anywhere we want to. What we need is public officials that will stand up for us and protect our rights by saying no to the liberal left American hating, or the liberal American hating left. When's the last time you've seen elected officials stand up and take up for? When's the last time? I wish someone was here, I'd say the same thing. When's the last time? When's somebody in Congress? When's somebody done it? When they stand up to people, specifically for the people. Here's what I say. Anybody, and I don't care who, if they support that kind of nonsense, let's get rid of it. Let's get them out. Let's do like the lady from Parent County said. Let's get some candidates. Let's get them in here. One that is going to remember the facts of we the people. Again, in Article 1, it says religious freedom, both to an establishment and well the free exercise thereof. Hey, that means you're supposed to have freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of press, freedom in the right to petition. Ladies and gentlemen, these are our rights. And again, same song. Anybody that votes against us and promotes that type of legislation, they should be voted out. Now, they touched on this one time or two today. What about Article 2? Some call it the Second Amendment rights. It is your right to bear arms. And I'm very sorry that our government is so messed up that the Harry Holder and Obama want your gun. They do want your gun. I'll tell you a quick story about the tournament here one time, year or two ago. We was off in a place about not being. We done drank a couple of walk out my conversation started, gun rights, this lady stood up there. I don't think anybody ought to have guns. I just don't think so. And the colonel reached in, he pulled out 44, 99, and 16, and 12 later on there. So she said, look, this little lady trailed right up, got up and said, well, Harold, what are you scared of? He picked up one of them big old guns and spun the sword and said, look, nothing, absolute nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, now listen to me close. Here is what you can say, and you're going to confront this if you're a believer in the Second Amendment. Here is what you can say to a gun hater. Tell them, you do not have to carry a gun. The Second Amendment rights does not tell you you have to carry a gun. It does not tell you that you have to own a gun, because you don't. You don't have to carry a gun. You don't have to own a gun. But please don't support, and tell them, please don't support the liberal left wing of the federal government and the gun haters of the world in taking away my choice and your choice to bear arms. Ladies and gentlemen, if the federal government succeeds in taking our guns, it's the same old story. Then only the government and only the criminals will have guns. And do you realize, do you realize that if they come and they take our guns, how long after that do you think that it's going to be before they come and get us? How long? Not long. And then what are you going to do? Nothing. Because it's too late. Don't support them, ladies and gentlemen. And again, I say, you got anybody that's representing you and they're supporting this kind of nonsense, vote them out. Republican or Democrat. The best way to get them to the crime problem. Due to time restraint, I'm going to jump on down. I'm going to get to some other articles, mainly the 10th, down to Article 10, states' rights. Everywhere I go, and I've been a lot of places, I am a states' rights guy. I don't think the federal government ought to be doing anything for us. It ought to be states' rights. In Article 10 of our Bill of Rights, it says, undelegated powers belong to the people. Unless, did you get that? Unless given by the people to the states. Let me read that again. Undelegated powers belong to the people unless given by the people to the states. It doesn't say federal government in there anywhere. It doesn't say federal government in no spot in it. It says states. Folks, what that means is states' rights. Same old thing. Anybody starts treading on our states' rights, let's get rid of it. Here, down at home. Now I'm going to switch back up, so I kind of won't bore you. Switch back up to the past presidential debate, and the idea is it gives us a smaller government and a balanced budget. Listen to me. The 2016 presidential election is coming pretty quick. Let's see. Let me just see. I'll watch. I'll be able to tell. Would you like to hear our candidates talk about some of these following statements and issues and ideas in the next presidential debate? There's some things, a lot of the stuff I'm fixing to tell you is things I've been speaking on for years. Wouldn't it be wonderful, wonderful, if our candidates would stand up, bold, straight, look you right square in the eye, in plain, bold, excuse me, emphysema and COPD disappeared. And they was bold, and they stood up, and they was in a debate all across the nation. And one of them said, let's get out. Let's get the United States, got that wrong. Get the United Nations out of the United States of America. Wouldn't that be great? Then when we get that done, let's vote to get America out of the United Nations. Let's get that. That's nothing more than a corrupt bunch of thugs that hates America. The foreign countries that makes up the United Nations votes against America 79% of the time. Plus, America pays 25% of the operating fee for the United Nations and 50% of its military budget. I'm going to give you a list of a few countries that we donate to. And after you hear this, the key word is, most countries that make up the United Nations votes against us, and we still give them foreign aid. Some examples. Egypt. Alright, United Egypt. Egypt votes against us 79% of the time. They still get $2 billion a year. Jordan, you heard the name Jordan here lately. Votes against the United States 71% of the time. They still get $192 million a year. India, the country, India, you hear a little bit every now and then, but not much. Votes against America 81% of the time. And they still get $143 million a year. Pakistan, or Obamastan, what we ought to call it now, votes against America 75% of the time, and they get $6 billion, with a B, $6 billion a year. And that list goes on, that's just the beginning. Say, friends, I don't think those American taxpayers will get our money. So let's get out. Also, if we got out of the UN, that would stop our servicemen and women from serving under foreign military control and leadership. And I'm for that, and I think that you are. Our United States Armed Forces, specifically the Navy SEALs, killed off Osama bin Laden. So why can't we kill off the idea of being in the United Nations or asking people for permission to do anything? Let me tell you some more. If I were your president, I would not have to have a constitutional division, or it's called a Comm, balance budget amendment to balance the federal budget. One reason, and the main reason, that we do not, on record, do not want or need a Comm is because there is no set agenda before the Comm starts. If you don't have an agenda, well then the liberal left is going to be bringing up and changing stuff that we don't want to change, and there's nothing we can do about it. I'm against the Comm. Now, don't think we don't need some kind of change, because the federal government and our congressmen don't think the same as you and I. And Mr. Conway's still here, I'll tell you the same thing. We do not, in Washington, D.C., have we do not have a revenue problem. We have a spending problem and a too big of a government problem. The federal government is nothing but a redistribution program. They tax the hell out of us, we the people, we the workers, and we the producers. They take our money and redistribute it any way that they see fit. I can tell you how to balance the federal budget. And I'm going to make a few people mad, but that's all right. It's by having a smaller government. Republicans start talking about it, a smaller government. All right, when I say smaller government, I mean cut agencies that are full of bureaucracy and government waste. Here's my idea how to have a smaller government. Slow down bureaucracy and balance the federal budget without a budget amendment. And I wish our presidential candidates had the guts to talk about it in 2016. First thing we need to do is abolish the EPA. We need to abolish the EPA. Turn environmental issues back to the states. Article 10, states' rights. Then if the states don't get it right, well, we can probably vote them guys out and get somebody in there that'll do it. Then we can elect somebody that will enact regulations that fits the state's needs and still protect our environment. We can pass laws here in the great state of Texas that probably won't fit Wyoming or New York. So each state should have to handle their own environmental issues. Remember the conservative agenda? You've been hearing it for years. Less taxes, less government intervention. Getting rid of the EPA that is burdensome federal regulation that costs businesses money and Americans jobs. here's the one that's going to get you. Why not abolish the Department of Education? All we do is send money to Washington. The good Lord only knows how much money. And then they send some of the money back. And when they send some of the money back, they got strings attached. I say turn education back to states so we can have local control over local schools, educating children the way we see fit. Not some bureaucrat in Washington, D.C. that don't know anything about Texas or how to educate our kids. Now think about this. The other guys have been talking about all the jobs that is coming to Texas. If we want to educate our kids so that businesses from across America and from around the world will want to come to Texas because they would know there would be an educated workforce waiting for them, then that's what we should do, and we should be allowed to do it. Because if we don't, then those companies will go to other states and other countries. That should give us the incentive to excel. It promotes prosperity and jobs. That's something our president, our congressmen, and our federal leaders can't figure out. States' right. Why not abolish the Department of Commerce? Excuse me, they might tell those guys that's more bureaucracy that we need to get rid of. That agency is telling our business people what, how, and where they can do businesses. And they're setting up barriers all around the world. Job killing, product selling, import taxes, export taxes, like export taxes, import taxes, regulations that's not letting our business owners do business and sell their goods anywhere in the world. I'm not talking about getting rid of your local transport.
What do they do? Take care of it?
I'm not talking about getting rid of your state. I'm talking about shutting down the Department of Commerce in Washington, D.C. If the government will leave businesses alone that could make money, let businesses make money. If the government would get out of the way and let businesses make money, they would expand their business, hire more people, and they could show a better profit. But because of those surcharges, restrictions, all kinds of taxes, government bureaucracy that is preventing our independent business owners from doing business, I say leave our business people alone. Then we would have what we can stand. That language is called economy. It's called economy. It should be free, open, unrestricted, unencumbered by federal government or any regulatory agency. That's abolished in the Department of Transportation. Last time you rode on these roads. Another bureaucracy.
You got our power. You can stand up as much as I have.
Then send some of our money back to us. Then they tell us how to build a road, a bridge, or a highway, and what we can and cannot do with our money. Again, turn this responsibility back to states' rights and authority and keep our fuel tax money here. Now, I just said that, but now I'm fixing to renew it. I'm running for president here. We're talking about the federal fuel tax. Because every time you pull up to the pump, you get fuel, you pay that tax. When you go into the clerk, you pay that $25, $55, whatever it is, for fuel bills, you pay it. And it doesn't matter if you're legal or not. You get a gallon of gas, you're going to pay a gallon of tax. If I were elected president, here's what I'm changing now. I said, let's keep our money here in Texas, but we got a problem in Washington. If I'm president, I'm in Washington. If I were elected president, I would abolish the Department of Transportation. I will stop collecting the fuel tax money except for 10 cents a gallon. Excuse me. That 10 cents, that every gallon, that 10 cents a gallon that was bought in America, that fuel tax money would go direct to balance the federal budget, not more giveaway programs. But then, I'm talking about it would be controlled, it would come in, and it would go to be paying off and balance our budget. That same 10 cents a gallon will then go to pay off our federal and foreign debt. After that's done, then I would go to buying gold and return our dollar to the gold standard. So that when you have a dollar in your pocket, it's backed up by the full face value of the United States of America and gold. Thank you. Now back to less government and the state's rights. Think about this. I just talked about educating our kids. I just talked about the Department of Transportation. If we're going to educate our kids to have good workforce for businesses to draw from, we will certainly build good roads for the businesses and the citizens to travel on. If we here in Texas want people from across the United States and from around the world to come visit us during tourism time, then we're certainly going to build good roads. If we want them to spend their vacation dollars, maybe buy a home here, maybe stay here and work for a while, then we're going to build good roads. We don't need somebody in Washington, D.C. taking our fuel tax money, give us some of it back, tell us how to spend it, much less how to build a road, bridge, or a house. Some more thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. If I was elected your president, I'd audit the Federal Reserve. On the very first day, however they do it, I'd write one of them orders, and I'd audit the Federal Reserve, and I'm against those guilty of mishandling our dollars would go to prison. Then as soon as we got that audit done and it was complete, then I'd abolish the Federal Reserve. Get out of here. We don't need it. We have a United States Treasury that's all we need, and it belongs to the people of America. Plus, that would help stop the Bilderberg groups in foreign countries that's trying to make us one world order. It's called Agenda 21. If you hadn't heard about it, study it. We don't want that. I don't want that. We are Americans, and we want to stay being Americans and be all that Americans have been. I say turn responsibility back to the states and make the states' responsibility to take care of the state's business. All we need in the federal government is to have a strong treasury based on the full face value of the United States of America gold, have the mightiest military in the world, secure our borders, go back to a nation of law based on the Constitution of the United States of America that was fought for and given to us by our founding fathers. Make the language of our nation English. Stop all efforts in allowing Muslims from taking over our Christian nation. Stop any form of Sahara law from penetrating our courts, our court system, and our Constitution. Force the president to produce a real birth certificate. Happens every time. That was supposed to be funny, but there's nothing funny about this person. Ladies and gentlemen, then we would be living in America that we used to live in. Then we would be going back to living in America that followed the Constitution. Our America that our men and women fought for, died for, and built for us to live in so we could live free from government. Ladies and gentlemen, I am a conservative Republican. I believe in the Republican Party, not a third party. I believe the Republican Party should be the vehicle that we use to improve our country. That we need to use it to promote the conservative ideology, the conservative agenda of less taxes, less government intervention in our lives. Yes, there's more agencies that we need to abolish, that we don't need. We need to get rid of them. The Energy Department, Homeland Security, FEMA, and others. So they don't do anything. We need to get them out of here. They cost money. If we didn't have them, then we wouldn't have the budget for them, and we wouldn't be running over our budget. Ladies and gentlemen, all these agencies take money. If we got rid of them, then we would have less government intervention, smaller government, and a functional government. Now back to being conservative. I feel like everybody here, you've been working and you work hard. All the key parties across the areas that I travel, Texas, the United States, we go out, we look, we find members, we bring them in. If they're like-minded and they want to work, they want to participate, donate a little money, we need to make them welcome. Because I can promise you, as Mr. Conaway said, Obama's done a terrific job of coming through Texas. He's in Texas right now, and they're setting up shops everywhere, and they're paying people to go out and knock on doors, register people, and get them ready to vote. And they're doing a fantastic job. But we can do just as good a job. And what I'm saying is, if we don't go out and get these people, bring them in, let them go on, let them participate, the Democrats will. And that's not what we want. We need to improve the Republican Party and make it a conservative Republican Party. And to do that, we need to vet our candidates. And in the primary, we need to elect a conservative Republican. We keep getting more of them in Washington. That's going to help straighten them out. But I promise you, I've been around a long time, and we've got to vet those candidates. When I ran for the position of SREC, that's committee man to the Executive Committee of the Republican Party, I ran on the platform that I would recruit new people to the Republican Party. I did that every day. Everywhere I go, no matter where I go, it always ends up in being talked about politics, and I would encourage them to come down, join their Republican Party, and if we had a Tea Party, join the Tea Party. I campaigned to organize and furnish training to all counties in Senate District 22 because that's what I represented. I offered precinct chair training, voter ball training, poll watch training. Your SREC committee woman, Janet Jackson, did that on a daily basis back when we traveled together to a lot of places. Frank Steve, your current SREC. All you have to do is call those folks and ask them. If you got a group around here, you got somebody that thinks that might want to run for precinct chair, talk to your county chairman. You don't have to go through the county chairman to get on the ballot, but it helps. But if you go see them and they're not going to give training as precinct chair training, call Frank or call Janet. If you don't have it, call me. I'll get their number. I campaign to promote the conservative agenda of less taxes, less government, and having a smaller government, and to expand the party, expand the party and conservatism to all people, no matter what color their skin is or what their gender is. I did that every day, and believe it or not, I still do it today, and I'm not elected anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, based on what I've told you today, this afternoon, you need to start today and be talking to those folks. You need to talk to your friends, your relatives, and your neighbors. Get them to go vote. I mean, go register. They've got to be registered to vote. And then after they get registered, we have a primary, get them to vote for the candidate of their choice. Hopefully, they were in on some of the vetting and they vote for the conservatives. This is very, very important. The Tea Parties, the conservative group, is what we have that is battling Obama's group. And right now, that's all that we have. Then in the very next general election, 2016, when we elect the president, we're going to have one next. Our next vote is. Then I'm going to ask you to vote for the conservative. After vetting your candidate, understanding where that candidate stands, whether it's a male or female, man or woman, doesn't matter, and making correct choice in the primary, then when you go to the general election, vote for the conservative. Because I promise you, a vote for a conservative is a vote for America. Thank you.